'61. I see 861. Is this the 861st
day of the daily antidote of song? That it is.
Wow.
We have some amazing number counters and sign makers in this room. Hello, everybody. I spoiled it already. It's day 861 of the Daily Antidote of Song. And we are so excited to be here with you. As you can see, we've got some fantastic musicians here. These are the members of Magpie. This is Greg and Terry, and you'll hear more from them in just a minute. But before we can say hello to them, we've got to say hello to all of you. First of all, a big hello to everybody joining us out there on Facebook Live. Everyone wave hello. Hi, Facebook. Hi, everybody joining us there. We love you. Thanks for being here. And of course, a big hello to everybody here in this room. Hello to Arlene in Berkeley, California. Hello to Susan G. Hi to Susan in Seattle. Both Susans next to each other. Love when Susans stick together. Hello to Christiana and Bob in Rockville. Thank you for your beautiful 861 day counter sign. Hello to Karen in Oregon. Hello to Becky. Hi to Jenny in Suffolk, UK. Hello to Cheryl in the UK. Hello to Trish in Victoria. Hello to Nancy. Hello to the Curly Tops, although I only see one right now, but I'm sure there are more to come. Hello to Annette. Hello to Carolyn. Day 861. Nice 6 today. Hello to Sheila in Florida. Hello to Luda and Mark in Victoria, BC. Hello and happy birthday to Aloysius in Westford, Mass. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. We're so happy that you are here with us on your birthday. We love you so much. Hello to Deli. Hello to Sarah in Texas. Hello to Nancy and her beautiful Irish cow. Hello to Cricket. Caroline in DC. Kevin on day 861. Hi. Hello. Some more folks coming into the room right now. Hello to Fred in Silver Spring. Ann in Maryland. Not too far from each other. Hello to Kate in Charlottesville. Jamie in Victoria, BC. And everyone connecting to audio and camera right now. We've got Kate wandering, LMG, Kat in Vermont, Bronwyn in Victoria, BC, Sandy in Western North Carolina. And I think that's everybody who is with us right now. But if I didn't get you on the hellos, I'll get you on the goodbyes. All right. Welcome. It is Sunday. It is August 14th. It is Sunday, right? I got that right?
Sure
Great.
is.
It's Sunday. August 14th. It's finally starting to cool down, at least in the East Coast where Magpie is and where I am. And we're very happy about that. And we've got a great song for you today. So let's get started introducing the members of Magpie, Greg and Terry. Hi.
Hi, so great to be with you
Hello.
all this morning. Thanks so much for coming to sing with us.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask you to sing on our Utah Phillips song that we kind of updated a little bit, and with a few people we thought really needed to be put in. It's what the Weavers used to call a zipper song. So it's real easy.
We love zipper songs here.
Yeah. It's also a call and response. When we first heard Utah sing this song, it was the last time we saw Utah, and he sang this song at the Champlain Valley Folk Festival and a cappella, and we said, man, that is a great song. If you recorded that song, he had not recorded it. I don't think he ever did actually record it.
No, I think we're going to put it on our 50th anniversary CD, which next year's our 50th anniversary as Magpie.
So
help us
it's
sing.
real simple. We sing, the chorus is, working on a ship, may never sail on it, or may never sail on, or may never sail on her, working on a ship, may never sail on it. Ship gonna sail someday, then working on a ship, may never sail, gonna build it anyway.
Lots of chances.
And then on the verses, each time we sing a line in the verse, we sing the first one we sing ship gonna sail someday, and then we sing the next line, and then we sing gonna build it anyway, and then we do that again. So you'll catch on. You'll catch on. It's pretty easy. Okay, here we go. sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. John Brown said, let our motto be action. Ship gonna sail someday. Sojourner Truth said, ain't I a woman? Gonna build it anyway. Joe Hill said, don't mourn, organize. Ship gonna sail someday. Mother Jones said, fight like hell for the living. Gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Sing it again. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Debs said, while there's a soul in prison, ship gonna sail someday. Cesar Chavez said, Viva la helga, gonna build it anyway. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream, ship gonna sail someday. Ella Baker said, give a light to the people, gonna build it anyway. May never sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Yeah, working on a ship, may never sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Paul Robeson said, no one can silence me, ship gonna sail someday. Howard Zinn said, there's no flag big enough, gonna build it anyway. Judy Barry said, protect Mother Earth, ship gonna sail someday. Bill Barragan said, war is terrorism, gonna build it anyway. Never sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Seeger said, force hate to surrender, ship gonna sail someday. Utah Phillips said, one big union, gonna build it anyway. Now they're all gone, but we're still building, ship gonna sail someday. With hands and hearts and mind and muscle, gonna build it anyway. Sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship, gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her, gonna build it anyway. Gonna build it anyway.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That is just one of the best songs that I have ever heard in my life.
That's the way we felt
I'm
about
so
it when we
glad
heard
you liked
Utah.
it. We just loved it, you know.
Gosh.
And it's, because it's just uplifting and powerful, and it harkens back to our heroes and sheroes. You know, Utah used to say we remember our martyrs. You know, and we do, and we take not only inspiration from them, but actual direct lessons from them.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember. And
It's a great way to include all the issues that we're still dealing with on racism and
It is.
environment and social justice and climate change, and I mean, just so many of the things we're all suffering through right now.
Yeah.
Every one of those people did something to make the world a better place.
Singing
Yeah.
times.
But it's this amazing way to deal with it and address it and talk about it and remember it, while also feeling like incredibly forward moving. You know, it doesn't feel like the kind of thing that makes you feel stuck. I think it's so easy with all of the wrongs in the world right now to feel so stuck.
Yeah.
That's so difficult.
Yeah.
But when you have a song that's as mobilizing as this,
It's really
makes you want to
interesting.
do
Isn't it?
something.
It's really interesting because what it takes a look back, and yet is going forward.
Yeah.
It's just, and I think that's one of the things about Utah Phillips was really passionate about that. The older he got, the more he really focused on history, and what he always used to say to people was the past didn't go anywhere. You
Yeah.
know, that the long memory was a radical act, and that to think back and to remember what had happened before was really absolutely essential to understanding where we are, and you can't really go forward without actually understanding where you're standing.
Absolutely
That's one of
not.
the things we love about Magpie, the name Magpie. First of all, nobody could ever pronounce our last name. So when we first started putting music together 50 almost years ago,
Almost 50 years ago.
my last name is beautiful, Leonino.
It
It's
is
Italian for
beautiful.
Little lion, Leonino. But I didn't want to change it because it was so musical, Leonino. And
Yeah.
Greg said fine. And his last name was Artzner with a Z. And people were like, how do you say this? So we are birders when we're not playing music. We like to go out and look at birds. We have bird feeders all over the place. And one of the myths that we learned about getting that name was that magpies are supposed to know the past, the present, and the future, because you can't understand where you are or where you're going if you don't know the past.
It's true. It's true. And I think so many people are resistant to the past because, you know, it just was so different than
Yeah.
it is now. Or at least we feel, or maybe we just want to feel like it's so different than it is
Yeah.
now. I think in reality, it's really not very different at all.
I think that people denigrate its significance. And they tend to just want to say, okay, you can't live in the past. Well, we don't live in the past.
No.
We just try to
Be informed by it.
We do live in the
Yeah.
past, but we live in the present and with an eye to the future. You know, it's
Yeah.
but the point is that the past is so much a part of every. But you know, if you just study history in high school and you don't take it, you know, you take your average American history course in high school,
Sure.
you're not only going to be uninspired about American history or history in general, you're going to be bored with it. And then
Yeah.
you're just going to want to get out of there and just say, you know, history be damned. I'm just going to, you know, live my life.
Yeah.
You should read Howard Zinn.
Well, yeah, Howard Zinn is a great place to begin because he was a really brilliant historian who put the history in the context of
Human beings.
of human
Yeah.
beings with their own personal struggles, and he told the other side of American history that that the books don't get to. You know, all of the things that people are complaining about now. You know, the whole idea of critical race theory, for example,
Yeah.
which is an entirely different
Sure.
argument. But that whole idea of studying that particular aspect of American history, how can you understand where we are now if you don't really know what happened 200
How we got here.
years ago, all the way up through? Yeah, how we got to this place.
Yeah.
I love some of the comments. Some people have been fortunate, like us, to know Rosalie Sorrells, to know Utah Phillips, to see them perform,
Yeah.
to perform on the same stage with them, to be a part of their journey, and they're a part of our journey. It's such a wonderful and important thing.
Old friends that we miss.
Old friends that we miss dearly. But this is a way to remember people. That's
It
one of the
is.
things I love about it. And
And what
somebody
better
else-
way to honor them?
it sure is. Somebody said something about a magpie. Oh, there's great Nico Case line, About Time. Let this be a warning.
Says the magpie to the morning.
Don't let this fading summer pass you by. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's
Never
beautiful.
heard that one before. That's pretty cool.
That's a magpie song. Thank you, Amanda and Miles. I got to go look that up.
Yeah.
Is that a song?
That's gorgeous.
And there's somebody here that got to babysit for the Utah and Rosalie's families. Whoa.
Well, that would have been fun.
That's just so great. That is just amazing.
You wouldn't believe some of the people that we have in this room. This community
Yeah.
has done and listened to and learned so many things. Everyone has such cool stories.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
Well, we should allow them to ask
Yeah.
questions.
Oh, I'm
or-
looking at the
I'm
chat
looking at
here.
some of
There's
the
lots
chat.
and lots of stuff.
Yeah, if anybody wants to pop a question or comment into the chat, we'll read it right
this is
out.
really fascinating.
Yeah, you get history. That's where you get history. Somebody said they get history from places like her dad, who was an organizer. You know, same for me. My dad was a union worker for Firestone Tire and Rubber Company and a shop steward, so he was between the company and the workers. And you know, you learn from your own personal history,
Sure.
and then you also learn as you go along all these other important things and why they happen. If you bother to stop and check it out.
Yeah, the thing about history, it really does help. Somebody was mentioning their dad being a real inspiration because he was such a great storyteller. When I was in high school, my high school history teacher was absolutely passionate, on fire about history all the time. And she would just, you know, okay, she'd point to the book and then she'd put the book aside. And then she'd just talk to us about it, you know, up and down the aisles, you know, and carrying on a conversation with students instead of just, you know, memorizing the names of the presidents and the generals and the dates and all that stuff.
Yeah.
No,
And somebody pointed, somebody just pointed out,
we understood how things were interrelated and interconnected.
and that was something somebody just pointed out in the chat, that we do the song Michael on the Utah Phillips
tribute
tribute
album.
CD. And the reason we did that was because, again, he recited that poem, and we were just so blown away by it. And of course, we love his CD, his anti-war CD called "I've Got to Know," based on the Woody Guthrie song.
Yes.
Michael, we asked Utah, could we please put that song to music? And he said, that lyric to music.
Basically, it's a poem by Robert Service.
Right.
You know, aftermath of World War I, right? And what they called shell shock in those days.
Yeah.
Now called post-traumatic stress. And it was the same day actually that we heard that song that we just sang, and I was just talking to Utah about I've Got to Know because we had been listening to it constantly. You know, it's a 2 CD set.
It's worth it.
Brilliant piece. What he did was he went, if for those not familiar with him, what he did was he gathered up all of the anti-war stuff that he could possibly find. Readings, poems, newspaper articles, his own songs, his songs, other songs. And he brought all that stuff into the studio and he said, roll the tape and I'll tell you when I'm done. And he did this incredible, it's one of the greatest anti-war polemics I've ever seen, heard, listened to.
And when we heard him recite Michael, we both wanted to put music to it.
So you read
and
it.
we wanted to make it a 2-person thing where I would sing the mother's part and Greg would sing the person coming back from war.
So we ran into him at the Champlain Valley Festival and we said, hey, we really want to set that to music. What do you think? And he said, oh, that sounds great. He says, if you guys do a tape, you know, send me a tape of it.
Now we're showing our age, a tape.
You'd really like to, well, you know, that was quite a few years ago. So
I had some tapes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we never got around to, we did write it, we did set it to music, but we never did get around to making a tape to send to him. And then when Dan Schatz pulled this whole project together, the tribute to Utah, he offered us a track on the collection, and we said, that would be great, we'd love to do that, but what do you think about us doing Michael, which is our musical setting of the Robert Service poem that we heard from Utah? And Dan said, okay, let me ask Bruce what he thinks about it. So he called up Bruce on the phone, and Bruce said, yeah, that's great. I've been wanting to hear what they were going to do with that stuff. So
we actually were in the studio recording it at the very moment he died.
We were so excited. We did the CD, we did the tape, we got it all set and ready, and then we sent a copy of it by an audio file of it by email to Dan that evening. And then the next morning, early the next morning, we got the email from Dan that said that Utah had died during the night.
So we never really got to hear our setting.
Never got to hear the song.
But I know he would. I know that he would like it.
Oh, I think you would.
Yes.
I think you would. It's a powerful piece.
We should stop being loquacious. If people have questions, maybe.
No, I think everyone is enraptured. Everyone's just listening. There hasn't been really anything popping into the chat the last couple of minutes. Not much.
Yeah. Oh, well, somebody mentions up here. Luckily, someone interviewed my dad, and somebody was mentioning that their dad was involved in the hunger strikes out in Detroit during the 30s. And Maurice Sugar talked about my dad. Maurice Sugar was the guy. Some people claim that other people invented the sit-down strike, but it was Maurice Sugar who actually invented the sit-down strike.
Wow.
And he's the guy who encouraged all of the workers in the auto plants in Detroit to sit down right where they were, not to go out. If you sit down right where you are, then
Can't do anything.
they can't do anything because they can't bring in scabs and push you out, and so that was a really, in fact, in the original version of this song, Utah said, Maurice Sugar said, sit down, sit down. That's one of his lines.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a good one.
Hey, with this song, you could go on forever.
You could literally go on forever.
Yeah.
Have one history course.
Yeah, you could be naming heroes and sheroes, till the song lasts all day.
Yeah. And that would be okay with us, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely would be okay with us.
Works for me.
It really is. It's that kind of music that just, even if you had no idea what you were saying, like even if I couldn't understand a word of English, I think I would get the exact same feeling from hearing this song.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, here's more stuff about Sugar. And Nancy, thank you, Nancy. Nancy Schimmel says, Sugar was a songwriter too and wrote a song called Sit Down. Makes sense.
Everyone in here is a wealth of knowledge about
and
so
Nancy
many
very
things.
definitely is very well.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good to have you here, Nancy. Yes, we shall go on forward with our tributes.
Well, see, that's the part I really like about this song. At the end, it says, we're still building, with hands and heart and muscle and mind, we're still doing it. And I wanted to sing this song especially today to remind people that don't know about Clearwater. Just because Pete's gone doesn't mean his dream is gone. And it's still out there cleaning up rivers. We are most fortunate that we've been involved in Clearwater for many, many years. And we're going to go do a sail on August 25th on the Hudson with our director, Steve Stan, and Thomasina, who's the daughter of Tom Winslow, who was one of the original founders with Pete, African-American, great singer. And now his daughter's carrying
she's
on.
a great singer.
Wonderful.
She's a great blues singer.
So you can sign up.
She's also on the board of directors of Clearwater.
You can sign up and get on board and sail with us and sing with us on August 25th
if you want to. I don't know. I don't know how many.
It might be full.
I don't know how many spots they have on the sail right now.
Because of the CDC regulations, they do have a certain amount of people they're allowed on. But it's really worth it. The Hudson is so beautiful. And I have to say that the Hudson River now is considered one of the cleanest rivers in the country.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
After all the PCBs dumped in by General Electric. But the bad news is, especially for people who were born in Ohio, like Greg and I were, they decided to move GE plant to the Ohio River and do the same thing.
So now the Ohio is in pretty bad shape.
So, we have to keep speaking up and acting up. That's what we have to do.
Got to keep going. Keep on keeping on.
We do.
Yes.
And with that, I think that we should sing the song again.
Why
Get
not?
it back into our minds and hearts and bodies.
Sounds really good to me.
Somebody asked if that was the same Thomasina who used to come to DAS. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But it wouldn't be surprising.
Nope. It wouldn't be surprising.
And okay, so we're going to sing the song again.
Let's sing it
Oh,
again.
co-founder of the Buffalo Music Society. Oh, hey, how are you, Kate? You're here.
Yay!
There's so many people I'd
There
love
are
to say hi to.
so many wonderful people here.
Okay, well, help us sing it. You know
All
it
right,
now, so we're just going to sing it.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention before we started it the last time was that we changed the last verse on the fly this morning because we wanted to get Pete Seeger in there.
We wanted to remind people about Clearwater.
Okay, everybody.
Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship. Gonna sail someday. There's Pete. Working on a ship, may never sail on her. Gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship. Gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her. Gonna build it anyway. John Brand said, let our motto be action. Ship gonna sail someday. Sojourner Truth said, ain't I a woman? Gonna build it anyway. Joe Hill said, don't mourn, organize. Ship gonna sail someday. Mother Jones said, fight like hell for the living. Gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship. Gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her. Gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on a ship. Gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her. Gonna build it anyway. Jean Debs said, while there's a soul in prison, ship gonna sail someday. Cesar Chavez said, Viva la huelga, gonna build it anyway. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream, ship gonna sail someday. Ella Baker said, give a light to the people, gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship. Gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her. Gonna build it anyway. Yeah, working on a ship, may never sail on her ship. Gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her. Gonna build it anyway. Paul Robeson said, no one can silence me. Ship gonna sail someday. Howard Zinn said, there's no flag big enough. Gonna build it anyway. Judy Barry said, protect Mother Earth. Ship gonna sail someday. Phil Farragon said, war is terrorism. Gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship. Gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her. Gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on her ship. Gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on her. Gonna build it anyway. Pete Seeger said, force hate to surrender. Ship gonna sail someday. Utah Phillips said, one big union. Gonna build it anyway. They're all gone, but we're still building. Ship gonna sail someday. With hands and hearts and minds and muscle, gonna build it anyway. Working on a ship, may never sail on a ship. Gonna sail someday. Working on a ship, may never sail on a. Gonna build it anyway. One more time. Working on a ship, may never sail on a ship. Gonna sail someday.
That, I have nothing to say. That is just a phenomenal song, and you are phenomenal people. And I'm so, so glad that we got the chance to sing that with you. We are so incredibly lucky and spoiled. And
Well,
this
we're
is just
spoiled by
We
the
are
fact
too.
that you and Joe and Busy and so many people at Carpe Diem are keeping this going.
Yeah.
Because we don't need it just during a pandemic. We need to sing every day. We need
It's
to
true.
feel something that we can do that will uplift us every day.
And that is an
Absolutely.
antidote. That song is an antidote for just
It's
about
an
anything
antidote.
that ails you.
It is indeed an antidote, a whole bottle of it. It is truly, truly phenomenal.
And thanks for saying you like watching us play together because we like playing together.
We love watching
Like
you
I
play
said,
together.
Yes, we do.
Next year's our 50th anniversary as Magpie. How many people can say that?
Not many. Certainly not as Magpie. I would say probably no one except you two.
Well, that's true. But, you know, Sweet Honey has been going for a long time, but they have
That's true.
personnel.
It's true. And they've got a rotating
The
roster.
personnel's been the same for us.
Yeah, that's right. We're basically the person.
It'd be pretty hard to switch it out.
Yeah. Sometimes we throw in a very talented musician like Raleigh Brown or
Mm,
Ralph Gordon or somebody that we love. But
special
we're,
guest.
we're very fortunate to have been in the folk scene for this long because we've met a lot of these wonderful people.
Christiana and Bob are holding up a beautiful picture of a ship. Christiana, hold that up one more time.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
There's a ship that's gonna sail
All right. Oh, that's a
someday.
wonderful ship. Wow. Did you draw that? Somebody.
Did you draw that?
That's
Who
a, that's,
did that?
that's a drawing in a book.
It's
That's
beautiful.
wonderful.
Wow.
Lovely.
And
We've got so many cool things here.
yeah, there's some great comments.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, somebody mentioned. Fred, was that Fred that mentioned Tacoma Park Folk Festival on Sunday, 9/11 from 10 to 7. That is a great festival. We have played many
many
times
times.
over the years. In fact, I think we were on the very first one. We were good friends with Sammy Abbott,
Oh,
David
fun.
Sawyer. We're still good friends with Saul Schneiderman and David. We haven't just seen David in ages and ages, and Sammy passed away. But yeah,
About that ship,
from the
that
Baltimore
picture ship, Christiana's great grandfather drew that in his hymn book.
Oh,
He
that was a-
captained that ship.
oh, that's a treasure.
Wow, what a
That-
treasure.
He captained
He
that
was
ship.
a captain and an artist. My
That is
goodness.
amazing. That is
It's-
amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
That is remarkable.
That is. Oh, look
That
at that.
is
That's a great comment. LMG
treasured
Edwin, I
piece
love
of
how the song
history.
gives us the image of our work leading to something sailing free on open water versus
Yeah.
the common notion of endless hard work pushing boulders up mountains like Sisyphus. Something
Yes.
about water/air seems more doable than dealing with heavy stone.
And
That's for sure.
freeing. Like at
That's-
some point when you do the hard work, at some point, someone, whether it's us or people 100 years from now, get to climb in that ship and steer it, continue steering it, but have the wind and the water carry it out.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
Well, we are so fortunate to have spent this little time with you all.
Thank you so much for being here. We really can't thank you enough. Unfortunately, our time
Our
has
time
come
is
to
up.
a close, which breaks my heart.
I need to walk my plants.
We'll let you go walk your plants and water your dog. Thank you so much for being here with us. This
Our
was an
pleasure.
absolute joy beyond belief. And I think it's time to say goodbye.
All right.
So a
Thank
big
you. Bye,
goodbye
Erin.
to
Bye,
Terry and
everyone.
Greg. Goodbye.
Have a
And
great
thank you
day.
so much. Bye.
Bye.
And of course, a big goodbye to all of our friends joining us out there on Facebook Live. Bye, Facebook. Thank you for being here. Make sure to tune in again tomorrow for another episode of the Daily Antidote of Song.